Hello and welcome to this year's October mini-series. This year I'll be putting together top 5s of various subjects, and today's episode is top 5 pixelated horror games. Now of course this is my opinion, and I can only talk about games I've actually played, either for the channel or in my past and some downtime, but I'd love to hear your top 5s in the comments down below, and if you'd like to see future episodes, be sure to subscribe for more updates and gameplays. While the design is a wide range, pixelated horror games come with their own challenge. That is, how can you make something scary if it all looks like squares? Sometimes it's pulled off with a creepy and unsettling story, other times it's the unnerving sound design which makes you second guess your surroundings, and some just throw jump scares at you like it's a pizza place full of animatronics. These games take the right mix of everything I listed with the developer's own spice and bake it into a horror pie anyone can be happy to enjoy. Beware though, I'll be talking about spoilers for each of these games. Number 5, Pony Island. Okay, maybe starting a video off about horror games with something called Pony Island isn't the best idea, but I do feel it deserves a spot on the list for sure. What starts as a simple endless runner becomes something more malicious as the game moves on. You start to be attacked by demonic skulls, are forced to solve programming puzzles, and slowly delve deeper into the very core of the game, where you learn that your character is trapped in the Afterlife arcade. As you progress through Pony Island, you discover your character is actually from the year 1252, being killed during a crusade. Imagine being this good at video games but born so long ago, and forced to play in this arcade as punishment. You collect tickets, take down multiple demons, and eventually face off against Lucifer himself as he evolves into Uber Satan. Once you've defeated the Lord of Programming Bugs, you free the souls of all those trapped in the Afterlife arcade, with one exception: Hopeless Soul. Your only true ally in your binary rebellion is still trapped within the game's coding. The last line of communication you have with him is his requesting, no, begging you, to uninstall the game to remove both him and the hell you suffer from existence. Number 4, Uncanny Valley. Starting a new job can be scary, especially if it's out in the middle of nowhere, your only coworker is a bit of a jerk, and you have no idea what the company you work for actually does. Uncanny Valley lays the story out as you work overnight shifts as a security guard at Melior, and as Tom you explore both your new employer and the city you're uprooted to. But not everything as it seems, as multiple endings spell out a bizarre tale of roving gangs, personality crises, and nightmares, and synthetic humanoids. The pixelated graphics hold nothing back, as damage and death are crunchy, leaving your body a wreck and unable to run or sometimes even aim your gun correctly. The monsters are true body horror style with enlarged proportions, limbs removed and warped, and an ending that tries to question what makes you actually human. Number 3, I'm Scared. I'm Scared is a weird fourth wall breaking style of game. It's played in first person, and you venture through a house with puzzles and key fetching until you discover Whiteface. Whiteface appears and floats towards you, an ominous feature that just waiting to drag you into a bizarre world of closing the game, checking files on your desktop, reopening the game, and being teleported into another world. Whiteface doesn't seem to mean you any harm at first, just toying with you in her games of tag, or just randomly jumpscaring you. But upon meeting her, the game takes a turn, as her will hunt you down, until eventually you're forced to fight back against her. The game has a handful of twists, and the story is mostly told through an unreliable narrator, placing text files on your desktop in an attempt to talk to you without her knowing, and abstract puzzles requiring you to actually close the game, leave items outside the world for yourself, and coming back to the past to access them. It's a very interesting meta-style horror game that I don't want to go too in-depth with, as I seriously suggest checking this out yourself. Number 2, Mad Father and Me Sal. This spot is a bit of a tie because I really enjoyed both Mad Father and Me Sal, and they share a similar universe. And come on, Aya is totally librarian. But the games are surprisingly different. Mad Father follows Aya as she explores her house, solving puzzles, escaping danger, and making new friends. Well, okay, less murderous friends, while searching for her father. What unravels is a story of betrayal, experimentation, and revenge. The puzzles can get head-scratchingly hard sometimes, but the story really wrote me in, and I felt myself actually feeling concerned towards the end of the game about what happened to Aya when everything is said and done. Me Sal, on the other hand, is a total death fest, relishing in the fact that you will die. A lot. When a spirit starts to terrorize a school, you take it upon yourself to save everyone and discover both the cause and the solution. I'm going to be honest about this game. It's pretty soul-crushing. When I say next about it might upset some people. As much as I hate saying trigger warning, this is probably the best case for this one. Me Sal was actually a classmate of yours, quiet and shy, but was bullied and ignored by several of her classmates. Her bully went as far as sexually assaulting her in the bathroom and inviting male classrooms to join. When Me Sal asked for help, she was turned away. She eventually went to the teacher, who used his position of power to further her abuse. This was one of the few games that when reading these scenes I had no smart aleck comment for. I was speechless and seriously felt disgusted. The teacher decides the best way to keep her silence about his crimes was to kill Me Sal and bury her in pieces around the school. By the end of the game, I actually felt like Me Sal's revenge was completely justified, and I was never so happy to let someone fall to their death. With her body finally laid to rest and the wrongdoers punished, Me Sal leaves the school and allows everything to return to normal. Or will it? Now, before I get to the number one spot, I'd like to list a few honorable mentions, some of which I have not yet played, but I've heard from several reliable sources that are really good. And let me know if you believe that any more should be on this list and what you think of these in the comments down below. Number 1, Lone Survivor. This game was recommended to me by a good friend of mine, and I am so glad he did. Lone Survival takes something so personal, like self-isolation and feeling disconnected from the world, and turns it into a fun, terrifying game. Supplies are limited as you scout the city for inventory, while furthering the story and meeting some very interesting characters. Depending on the medication your character takes, you can meet Man Who Wears a Box, providing you snacks to eat if you have none, or Man in Blue, which instead provides you ammo if you find yourself without any. The entire game can be played in pacifist style, or you can go all gung-ho, mowing down any zombies you find, provided you actually have enough ammo. The monster designs are everything that pixelated horror should be. Emaciated corpses roaming the alleyways, bloated flesh bags which only become more aggressive once stunned, and all ends with the final fight against Mother. Its long, thin legs tower over you, and its elongated arms reach out in front, with scythe-like blades ready to attack and rip you to shreds. Once Mother has been defeated, you make your way to the end goal, the hospital. Here's where your choices matter, as the game has 3 endings, or 5 total in the director's cut, depending on the actions and pills you take during gameplay. This game is one of my favorite pixel horror games I've played, as it tugs on so many of my heartstrings, from the isolated feelings of the character, the lamentations for the past, the way even the character is unsure of what is real in the game and what isn't, and how small and insignificant the character feels in the wide world. If you haven't checked this game out, I seriously recommend it. So those were my top 5 pixelated horror games. Which do you agree with? Which do you think I missed? Let me know your favorites in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe for more gameplay videos and the rest of my top 5 series spanning every Friday in October. And have a great day. Remember to burn bright.